Let me talk from my personal experience in terms of how it has touched me in my various positions. I look at CSB Bank, which was previously known as Catholic Syrian Bank. Obviously, digitization, automation are priorities for the bank. And something that the board has mandated the management team is to find ways and means of digitizing the bank without going through the conventional route. That's where it brings fintech, the fintech industry into play. Because earlier you would have looked at a core banking system and then built everything around that. We don't have time for that. So we have to put in a core banking system at the same time create all these facilities simultaneously. So time is not a luxury that we have. And my expectation is that over the next couple of years, we will associate with several of these companies. I'm sure some of you are in this room today will associate. In my other job, Thomas Cook India, we're going through a complete customer lifecycle experience initiative where we are trying to change the way we interact with our customers. And one of the primary drivers there is how do we make it a seamless interaction with the customer by automating. So what we did earlier this year is we went into robotic process automation and installed it in our back office just to experiment. And what we saw was that our reconciliations, which took a lifetime to happen, were now suddenly at a 97-98% accuracy and completion level. So that's where my experience has been, and it's a learning experience.
Talk a little bit about how the banks and fintechs can collaborate so that both of them can exist in this ecosystem.
Look, we live in a world where change is the new constant, and therefore innovation is mandatory. It's a way of life. We can't ignore it. I believe that the fintech industry and banks will have to collaborate increasingly because given the KYC norms, the requirements of KYC across a broad spectrum, banks and the fintech industry are going to be important players in this process, directly and indirectly. Therefore, I think it's important that the fintech industry not only try to collaborate with institutions like banks, they need to find all these various institutions that are non-banks and collaborate with them, because at the end of the day, what is the most important part is the data. Customer data, and we are all repositories of customer data. How do we get to use that data and possibly share it within certain norms?
If you can talk a little bit about the trends that are going to shape up.
I think 2020 is like any other year now, because there is constant innovation, there's constant change through every aspect of business. It's not just the fintech industry. But when we talk more specifically about the fintech industry, given that it's the government's drive to digitize financial transactions, it is a norm, increasingly becoming the norm, that you need some form of KYC in anything that you do. Therefore, I think that we need to move innovation in this space at a super speed. I don't think the current pace is enough, because the fintech industry will get left behind if it doesn't move fast enough. And you must understand that as much as there is an Indian fintech industry, there's a massive industry out there in the rest of the world, which is many times over. Whether you look at the US, whether you look at China, these people are playing with new technology in a different scheme from where we are. So how do we ensure that we do a catch up with all these and at the same time meet the requirements of a customer? The customer is not used to going through multiple steps and arriving at the conclusion of a transaction. They want to go through one or two steps. It's the click syndrome, as I call it. The less clicks, the more attractive. More clicks and it's not there.
With the world shrinking day by day, what do you think? How is innovation going to impact across borders, people across borders?
Innovation is going to change our lives. It's already changing our lives. Look at all the new innovations, be it from a small gadget that most probably what you and I call an app on your phone, all the way to driverless cars, electric cars, to the way you fly. You know, if you look at flying in a plane 10 years ago to today, look at how it's changed. It's all innovation. So I think it's moving at such a pace that it has to be the norm every day. And innovation is something that we cannot wish away.
Okay, thank you so much for talking to us.